what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We are in my favorite filming spot location because guess what? We have that sports car that is the talk of the town. This is it. This is the totally redesigned 2023 Nissan Z. But before we get into this new redefined sports car from Nissan, let's talk about what's going on here. We are moving towards electrification at the speed of sound, but you know what? There's still some brands out there that are bringing some internal combustion engine magic, and that's what this Z is all about. It's about capturing the past and bringing it into the present and obviously having it for at least the foreseeable future. Now, the Nissan Z, it all came about all the way back in 1970 with the iconic 240Z. Over the years, the Z changed in shape, it changed in size, but one thing it always stuck to was being a Japanese sports car. Now we have this new Z. It's simply called Z because they made some changes that kind of go against the grain of the model number elevation from start to where we're at. Underneath the hood, we got twin turbo power, the return of twin turbo power since the early 1990s with the Z32 chassis Z cars, the 300ZX, as we remember it. What I want to find out is Toyota just released the new GR Supra with the manual transmission. We were there at Miller Motorsports Park in Utah to drive it. So what I want to find out is this new Z with the manual the better manual sports car to buy over the GR Supra? Let's go ahead, dive into this new Z and find out. Right off the bat, the style. Definitely a cleaner design than the Supra. The Supra has a lot of fake vents. It's got some interesting curves. This, very, very sleek, very familiar. At the front of the business, you're getting full LED lighting. LED headlights, LED daytime running lamps, and turn signals. I personally love the shape of the headlight. It really kind of blends in the original feeling of the 240, but you know that it's something contemporary and fresh. Let me know what you feel about the headlights. Now, as we work our way down, no fake vents, no vents at all. All we have is nice, smooth bodywork. The one thing I wish they would have done is that they have this edge that sticks out here. Why not make this a functional corner air curtain or put some LED fog lamps down there? Just very interesting how they have that edge there. We'll have to see what happens when the Nissan Z Nismo comes to be and what happens with this area. Now, as we come across the front grille section, you have that familiar rectangular shape. Let me know what your thoughts are after seeing this now for a few reviews. Maybe you've seen the car at an auto show in person. I think it all makes sense. First, I thought the hard edge rectangle was a little too boxy. It's flowing nicely. You can see what they did with the grille design. Up top, we have these oval shapes that are metallic gray, and on the bottom portion, it stops, and you just have two of them, and they're flat black. Fully functional. I do like the way that the front splitter sticks out. One thing that's interesting is that I feel like the car sits a little high, especially at the front. Let me know what you think about that. Do you feel that the Z should be a little bit lower on the front? But obviously with the splitter, we're trying to stop air from going underneath. You got the upgraded Nissan badge, looking great, especially against our highlighter yellow. And when we get up onto that low slung hood, it's hard to see, but we got more 240Z magic. Look at the way you have this rise, and then it V's off and goes right towards the windshield. Yes, I'm sweating. Yes, it's hot, but guess what? This sports car is even hotter. That's another reason why my heart's pitter-pattering and I'm sweating profusely all over the place. Now, as we come around the bend, this is a performance trim. So you have your base model and performance. The only other option you have for 2023, and it's a 1 year only, is the Z Proto Spec. They're only making 240 of them, same color, but it's got a lot of touches from the actual Z Proto that we filmed in Nashville on that model, and they're just making 240 of them. So just another little tidbit of information. Now, when we come around the bend, we don't have the wheels like on the Z Proto Spec. What do we got? These nice, dark, gunmetal gray metallic wheels. They're raised engineering wheels. They're forged, so they're lighter than cast aluminum, give you less rotating mass, so it gives you a little quicker steering. I love the V shape pattern all the way around. You got those 4-piston calipers with the Nissan badging, very similar to what you would find on the Toyota Supra. Supra's got 4-piston calipers, and they are bright red as well. And then, of course, you're going to have your large rotors, and everything has been gone through suspension-wise. Yes, there is a lot of the 370Z underneath this new sheet metal, but they did go through it to try to make it even handle better and perform on a different level compared to the 370Z. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of the tires up front? 255 on the width, 40 series sidewall, and like I said, this is a 19-inch wheel. Let's continue down the side. Nice and clean. Remember on the Supra, they got all those fake vents, super sleek. Love the way it's got the two-tone. When you go Z Performance, it only comes two-tone. If you don't want a two-tone Z, you're gonna have to go with the base one. And we showed you that one when we talked about the different exhausts. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put it at the end of this one. But on the Z Performance, you got your painted black mirrors with the turn signals. Love the way they have the two-tone. I think on this particular color, it cuts down how bright the color is by having some black. We got that samurai katana sword blade trim, which at first I zonked the heck out of it. It actually makes sense now. And it's just enough to kind of bring an extra depth of element of color and design to this sleeking, sloping roof line. We got our rear quarter window, the Z badge, and I really can appreciate what they did with the door handles. Still an actual door handle, but they really blended in nicely, especially the way it flares out towards the rear. And then another thing, besides the way that they shape these, look on that lower sill, how it extends down. Very aggressive, all for aerodynamic efficiency. And then since we're kind of focused on the rear, what do we got going on back here? So you're still gonna get 19-inch wheels, still looking sharp with the bright red calipers, 275. So we went from 255 up front, 275 out back. We have a limited slip diff. And like you said, you got the matching calipers for the back. It's not those floating generic style stock calipers. Those are the upgraded ones. And I'm telling you, I think the color combination with the wheels, it just works for me. Now, when we come around the back, really, really smart the way they brought the two-tone all the way back into this rear area. Makes it not look so heavy. But you got a nice kick-up spoiler, body colored obviously to match the rest of the body. This is on the performance spec only. If you go base, there's no spoiler. The way they did the taillights, remember how I was talking about the 300ZX from the early 1990s, the Z32 chassis? That's where they got the idea for the LED taillights. Some gloss black, simply called Z. It's not the 400Z, guys, because this is not a 4-liter. This is a 3-liter. So technically, if you want to call it anything, it'd be a 300Z. And if it's a twin turbo, it'd be called 300ZX. But Nissan doesn't want to go backwards. They want to go forwards, so they're just calling it Z. And then as we drop it all the way down, I don't love gloss black usually, but I do like the way they sculpted this back area. You got a nice slash cut oval opening with this ornamental design all the way around. Obviously, one exhaust on each side with this diffuser area. Nice, low, wide, and sleek. But we're talking about the Z. We're comparing it to the new Supra with the manual. Let's pop the hood and talk horsepower numbers for this Japanese sports car. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. The good news is it's over to the driver's side. Guess what? You wanted it. Nissan delivered it, and they squeezed it in there. This is that 3-liter twin turbo V6, semi-tasteful engine cover. I love the massive strut tower brace, but what are we looking at with this engine? What type of power? We're looking at 400 horsepower, 350 pound-feet of torque. If you compare that to the Nissan Z, remember, this is a V6 twin turbo. If you're taking the Nissan Z and comparing it to the Toyota Supra has a 3-liter inline 6, a straight 6 with a single turbo. That puts out 382 horsepower. So if you're looking for bragging rights on who has the most horsepower, the Nissan Z is the winner. Now, if you know how to dance on your twinkle toes, 0 to 60 in about 4 seconds. Same thing with the Toyota Supra, the GR Supra with the manual, you're looking at about 3.9 seconds. So not a big difference when it comes to manual to manual. Now, there is a bigger difference automatic to automatic between the two vehicles. One of the reasons why is weight. This vehicle weighs 3,507 pounds. The Toyota GR Supra with the manual weighs in around 3,200 pounds. With the Z, top speed is governed to 155 miles per hour. MPG's 18 in the city, 24 on the highway. And like I said, you got that limited slip diff to help you get power to the ground. And if you don't want to row through your own gears, you don't have to. You could get an all-new ZF-made 9-speed automatic transmission. But why don't we go ahead, let's see how this Z sounds compared to the GR Supra. Let's fire it up. All right, guys, we're inside this 2023 Nissan Z. I know what you're saying to yourself. You're saying, Joe, I've been wanting a sports car. I almost bought a 370, but I decided to wait. I am really liking the changes on this new Z. I'm not so sure if I like the GR Supra. I guess my question is, how much is it? So MSRP for the performance trim, you're looking at $52,000. The only other trim that's available besides the Proto Spec, which I won't mention that because that's only a limited edition, is the base. Base is $39,999. So let's just call it 40 grand base. This one is 52 grand, still cheaper. This one at 52 is cheaper than the equivalent Toyota version of the GR Supra. Let's see if it brings the goods though to the door panels. What you're gonna notice is a blending of old and new. So some of the door panel is older style from the 370Z, like that air vent that's actually built into the door panel. Other parts though are really nicely done. The leather, the stitching, the Alcantara, very, very small door pockets. So maybe one of those 7-Eleven hot dogs with just mustard, no sauerkraut, and a bottle of Gatorade to wash it down. We do have the Bose sound system, give you nice clear tunes. And then going from the door panel to the dash, same story. Very similar to the 370Z, but I think they did a good job blending it. It is soft touch. I love this leather style material with the stitching, and everything flows nicely into the center stack. What do we got going on? We have our triple analog gauges up top. So you got your boost gauge, you got boost turbo speed, and your voltmeter. So we have nice analog gauges, that classic 240Z, 260Z style. Then we got our AC vents. Some of that gray finish looks clean. This is meant to mimic the grille shape up front at the front of the car. And then we have a 9-inch infotainment system. The Supra has an 8.8 inch. So this one's a little bit larger. And what's nice is it's integrated super clean. Obviously, navigation. Obviously, it's a touch screen. Let's see what the backup camera looks like. Throw it into reverse. And what you're gonna notice is that it's a little bit on the grainy side. So there it is, finally. Was able to get into reverse. There is the backup camera. You do have trajectory, but it is very grainy. The good news is it takes up all 9 inches. And if you're lucky to have 9 inches, use it, damn it, because that is something special. And then you're right back to where you started. You do have your standard AC controls, no dual climate. They feel a little too plasticky because guess what? They are plastic. Would have been nice to have some cleaner finish on them. Easy to figure out though. USB-C, USB-A, and then you have this nice little area. It's not a wireless charging pad. It's a place for a couple racetrack Twinkies. This is going to turn on and off your automatic rev match downshift, which the GR Supra does have with the manual. And then this is where the magic happens. You know how your parents told you to knock on the door because they were making the magic happen, and then all of a sudden your sister was born? This is where the magic happens on this Z. Nice, pretty short, crisp engagement. Is a little bit too much movement when you're in just center neutral. So something that we'll talk about once we go on throttle, but still nice that they kept the manual. Now, if you don't want the manual, or you don't want to drive a manual, or you don't know how to drive a manual, you can get the new ZF 9-speed automatic. You do have heated seats, no ventilated seats, the switch gear to open up the rear hatch. This does have a good old-fashioned mechanical e-brake, whereas the Supra has an electric e-brake. You do get one cup holder, and you do get the world's oldest key fob. Now, it does have the new Nissan badge on it, but it is that older style. What's interesting is that Noah actually used this on his Arc. So if you want a piece of history, this is definitely it. Now, the interesting thing is you have this soft armrest. You open it up, there's like another cup holder. So if your friend is mad at you because you don't have a cup holder for them, there it is. And what you could do is you could actually push. Look what I did. I actually took the lid and pushed it back. Cup holder. Lift it up. I'm actually going to put it back. Push the button, lift it up. You got enough room, I would say, for a pack of playing cards. So if you're going to play Goldfish or Old Maid with your friend, you can keep the cards in here. Seats. The leather, the Alcantara. They redid the seats with the material to make it more comfortable. Nice bolster. If you're looking for the power adjustments, they're actually right here. So they're on the inside of the seats. Kind of weird, but you do have your full electric adjustment, which is nice. And then one thing is that even though I'm 6 feet tall, I got plenty of room here. It actually feels a little bit more spacious than the Supra. The reason why is that the sides, everything doesn't curve down more. And the dash is definitely lower in here than in the GR Supra. But why don't you come over here? We got the manual. I got the new steering wheel. Come over to the business side. I want to show you behind the wheel of the new Z. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. Nice dark aluminum sill plate with the Z badge that lights up at night. And then what do we got? Look at that pedal box. Nice aluminum dead pedal, clutch, brake, and throttle. I guess the only thing is I would like a little bit wider dead pedal, but beggars can't be choosers. I'm just glad they put some aluminum there rather than carpet. Now, what's interesting is that you have these two wheels. The reason why these wheels are here is to adjust the pivot of the bottom portion of the seat and also the back portion. You could raise and lower it. Kind of weird how it's manual, but then you got your full power assist for everything else. One of those weird kind of things. I got plenty of headroom. Steering wheel, spot on the money. They wanted to make it look like the wheel from the original Z. I think they did a pretty bang up job on it. I'm not in love with the gloss black though. I wish they would have just went flat black, but I do like this dark silver. It is a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. Instead of the Nissan badge, that's what I want to see, Z. And then there's that dash. 12.3-inch TFT display. If you notice on the left-hand side, you can actually scroll through different information. I love the way it's got engine oil temp, water temp, diff, coolant, the whole 9 yards. Engine oil pressure, got all those readouts, and you have this beautiful Formula One inspired digital RPM indicator that allows you to have those shift lights on when to shift. Very clean, very smart. There's no back seat in either the Supra or the Z, but we do have a cargo area. Let's go check it out, and then we're gonna go on throttle in this new Z. All right, guys, one of the great things about these sports cars, whether you go GR Supra or you go Nissan Z, is that guess what? If you're trying to convince your significant other you want a sports car, promise them that you will get groceries for the household for the rest of your life, because check it out. You can do it. You have 20 cubic feet of space back here. Not the deepest cargo floor, but you know what? I think this is a great amount. And if you notice out back, you have the bracing. Just like we have bracing up front, you got bracing out the rear. Lots of usable space, just like on the Supra. But you know what? It's not about whether you can make it to the grocery store. It's about how fast can you get there. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go on throttle in our 2023 Z. All right, guys, we're inside this 2023 Nissan Z Performance. We're on my favorite twisty road in my neck of the woods. Right away, I really like the seating position in here. Compared to the Supra, the hood is lower, the dash is lower. So you do feel like you have a little bit more room on the interior, but first gear, of course, we're in sport mode. If you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, yeah, smoke them if you got them. Woohoo! Woo! sounds of those twin turbos. All the way up to 7,000 RPM on the brakes. Nice in the third. Yeah. It really pulls from 5,000 to about 6,500 RPM. It pulls like a freight train. You're definitely getting that more power, obviously, because we have 400 horsepower in this vehicle. I feel like this is basically going to sum up the whole review. The GR Supra Manual is better for the track, and the Z is better for the road. There's still a little bit too much body roll that I'm noticing, a lot more now that we're on one of my roads that I really know in my neck of the woods. And initial turning is quick, but then it gets a little vague on the steering, the way it communicates. But other than that, I mean, you got plenty of power. You saw by us smoking them because we got them. And I really love the way the dash is laid out, a lot more than in the Supra. It gives you more information. The graphics are more clear. I love the shift lights. Yeah, you don't have a head-up display, but because the dash is that good, you don't need a head-up display. And the Formula One style shift lights are absolutely spot on perfect. So those are some things there that this car does better. Now, sound, it's one of those things, you're not getting as much sound out of the exhaust as you do on the Supra. So I would like more of that growl out of the exhaust. I mean, we do have a V6. It's quieter than the 370Z, but what I do like is that there's not this annoying pumped in sound. Like, whatever sound is coming into the cabin, it's kind of pleasant. It could be better, but definitely not so artificial like in the Supra. It's got that BMW artificial sound through the speakers, which is, to me, a really big turnoff. Seats feel good. I like the way they redid the seats for this redesign. Steering wheel is great. Shifter lever, pretty close to the Supra. They're pretty much neck and neck. Both have short throws. Both have crisp engagement. If anything, maybe the Z feels a little bit more rubbery with the shifts, but other than that, it's golden. But if you're ready, I'm ready. On, here we go, yeah! Nice, chirping tire is a happy tire. But I love the sound in the higher revs. Really connected through this section. Decreasing radius, rolling on throttle. See the body roll? It's a little too much body roll there. Brakes are working actually surprisingly super duper well. And that's what you'll notice is that, watch, I'm in third right now. I'm gonna downshift. Watch how the front of the car goes up as we get on throttle. The Supra does not do that. So, second gear, on throttle, watch, goes up. I don't like that bouncing, rocking sensation. And yes, supposedly Nissan is working on a Nismo edition of this Z, and I'm sure they're gonna work on the shocks and the suspension, but it would be nice not to have so much in this vehicle. All right, guys, let's have some more fun. This Z is a blast to drive. I definitely would like to have one, that's for sure. But right now we're in second gear, 3,000 RPM. On throttle, here we go. Those twin turbos, man. Nice. On the brakes. That felt good really there. I love this section. I think another thing that's maybe kind of skewing this comparison a little bit are tires. The Supra, the GR Supra, come with those Pilot Super Sport tires. This does not. I would like to have them on the same exact tire. I think with better tire, you're gonna get even more, obviously, increased grip and confidence. Still gonna have some of that body movement, but I think the tires is another area where they should have went with the Super Sports at least, or the 4Ss. The Super Sport 4S is another great tire, but definitely this is a greater performer than the 370 or the 350. So you're fooling yourself thinking, hey, I got a 370, it performs better. No. I mean, I do like the naturally aspirated 3.7 and 3.5 liter V6, especially with the way they build torque. So linear and the sound. But this really, I'm telling you, it comes on like a freight train from 3,000, 4,000 RPM all the way up to 6,500. As you go above 6,500, it kind of runs out of steam a little bit. 1, 2, 3. On throttle, here we go. God, yeah. Pulls nicely, pulls nicely. Guys, one more time for me. Definitely one more time for you. You deserve it. Love that we have this manual Z. If you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, yeah! Chirping tires, a happy tire, baby. I'm telling you, feels really good through this section. Look at this. I tell you, it's a shame that these cars are going to be disappearing, but this is your chance to get one. Would it have been totally great if Nissan came out with a totally new platform for the Z? Sure. But they did a great job taking what they have and then bringing it to another level, especially styling wise. This car, you drive it around, you feel like a rock star. People want to see it, people want to know more about it, and then you get on the interior and it's a nice combination of the past with the present and a little bit of the future. I mean, how can you go wrong with either this or the GR Supra? But definitely a fun drive. We are going to get back to where it all started, so I will see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been one heck of an on-throttle day with this 2023 Nissan Z. I definitely got to thank everybody at Nissan for getting us access to this press fleet vehicle. Let me know what you think. Has Nissan done enough to topple the mighty GR Supra, especially now that the Supra comes with a manual transmission, or are you wanting to go with that 5th gen Supra, even though BMW had a lot of influence on it and it's built in Austria? Let me know which way you're gonna go, put it in the comment section, but if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rated Rides family. We gotta give it up to Stephen Flood, Stephen Flood Photography. Follow him on Instagram. A little bit of a tongue twister there, but he's worth the follow because guess what? He takes some amazing pictures. Show him some love in that comment section. I know Steven has his dream sports car ready, his Honda Civic Type R, that sometimes appears in the backgrounds of our reviews here on Rated Rides. So keep an eye out for that. Let Steven know if you like Civic Type Rs or if you like him. He's dying to know. Thank you, Steven, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.